Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Joe Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We'll be coming to you live from the second day of the Singapore Fintech Festival. Over 70,000 people are in attendance. It's quite incredible. And joining me for this segment, we have Emil Fuglsang. He is the founder and COO of Matter, and it's great to have you back with me in New York. Now we're taking the show to Singapore. And Emil, it's really interesting because we focus on ESG a lot and primarily coming out of Europe, going to North America, but it's amazing, it's heating up in Asia.
Absolutely. I think there has been a predominant view that Asia has been lagging a bit behind on this agenda, but if you're really looking at the numbers, this is the region in the world where most stock exchanges now are incorporating ESG into the decision making. China is the world's second largest issuer of green bonds. Japan is on a crazy journey in terms of really incorporating sustainability into a lot of the investment decisions being made there, and more assets under management in sustainable investment strategies. So things are really happening.
And I was surprised to learn that as well, that China is actually the second biggest driver. What do you think is driving change in the APAC region?
I think it's probably a combination of different factors. On a top-down level, governments are waking up to some of the bigger challenges in terms of facing climate change, financing a transition to a low-carbon economy, dealing with a lot of social changes in terms of a shrinking labor force, etc., which really puts pressure on public budgets to finance some of these transitions. And a lot of governments are increasingly looking, it's also what we learned this conference, looking to the private market sustainable investment strategies to help finance some of these transitions. So really seeing how, I think it's interesting to see how the top-down level starts to look at sustainable investment strategies in the private market for solutions to finance common goods. At the same time, you also see more from the bottom-up perspective that people are starting to believe that there's no trade-off between choosing sustainably and getting a good return on your investments. And I think that has been one of the key variables in unlocking the increased interest in sustainable investing.
Right, and I would agree with you too. The more you focus on ESG and running your company, adhering to those governance standards, sustainability standards, clearly it shows that your management team cares about dotting those I's, crossing those T's. It's going to translate to stock price.
Absolutely, and I think there's a lot of evidence already showing that high ESG performers really outperform on risk and return. That companies that incorporate ESG-related themes like diversity into the workspace outperform in terms of profitability. So I think the world is really waking up to see that this isn't just a matter of doing good for the world, it's also a matter of doing good for your own portfolio.
All right, speaking of Matter, Nasdaq and Matter, our ESG footprint, it's pretty substantial. How are we working together to help financial institutions in APAC really grow this trend?
So what the Matter and Matter and Nasdaq ESG partnership is really about is trying to help companies highlight the impact of investments to end users. So with our APIs, we help trading platforms and banks highlight the impact of a portfolio, flag controversial or beneficial companies, depending on the values of the individual investor. So this is really about enabling asset managers to help their customers, their clients see the value of a sustainable investment product with clear communicable impact and customer promises. So I think what we're seeing here is that again, talk about this bottom-up movement in this region of the world as well. If we don't come up with solutions to help individuals jump on the train of sustainable investments, and we keep it in the very complicated and advanced world of ESG screenings for large institutional investors, we will be capping the amount of finance that we can unlock for the transition. So the Nasdaq and Matter ESG footprint is all about empowering a trading platform or a bank to actually help their clients and customers see the value, see the impact of their sustainable products, and guide the transition bottom up as well. Help people move their assets and put their money where their mouth is, or their heart is, at least.
All right, Emil, thanks so much. Great to see you as always.
You too.
And thank you for joining us throughout the day, the Singapore Fintech Festival. I'm Joe Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.